Today's workout will start seated or standing. You'll want a pair of weights, which, like me, could just be a set of cans of food. I will show seated options for everything. Just choose what is best for you. We're going to begin with some wrist rolls and then let that drift upward to some elbow rolls, just kind of exploring the range of motion that feels okay, avoiding anything sharp or pinchy. And now let's head into some shoulder rolls, rolling our shoulders backward, maybe a couple times forward. And now some neck rolls, letting our shoulders subside. And just swirling our neck around in a circle one way. Not trying to get super big with this motion. Just feeling out if there's anything tension where you need to be gentle with yourself today. And finally, some T-spine rotations. So we're moving the middle of our breath in and then reach across and breathe out to rotate back to the center. Breathe in and then out to rotate. And do that one more time to each side. Beautiful. We are heading into our main work now. Our first exercise is a mobility exercise. You can do this seated, up against a wall, or on the floor. The arm action is the same for all of them. We're trying to move our shoulder blades and our arms through their full range of motion. So we are starting with our arms open. We're going to send our hands together over our chest. So if you're on the floor, that's pointing your fingertips to the ceiling. Otherwise, it's pointing them forward. Send your arms forward, trying to get your elbows to meet as best as able. Then dive your fingertips overhead. Again, moving through the range of motion that feels okay. Peel your elbows apart and make sure your ribs don't flare up and out. So keep your ribs knitted down. Then we're going to a W shape with our arms. And then finally to an open arm position once again. We'll do one more that direction, hands together. Send your elbows toward each other. Dive your fingertips overhead. Peel the elbows apart. Arms to a W. And then arms open. Now we're reversing the direction. So bring your fingertips up toward your ears to make a W. Fingertips together over your head or as close as they're able to get comfortably. Elbows together in front of your face, and then elbows down toward your hips, and then fingertips pointing out in front of you toward the ceiling or straight forward. And back to that neutral open posture one more time. Fingertips up to a W, fingertips up over your head, elbows together in front of your face, elbows down toward your hips, fingertips out in front of you. Neutral posture to finish, and take one breath here. Nicely done. Hopefully your shoulders feel a little bit more open after doing that. Now we're going into a mobility exercise. Once again, you can do this on the floor in a quadruped position on your hands, or you can do it seated. The action is the same no matter what. We are thinking about moving our shoulder blades in a box. And it's very important here to think about just moving your shoulder blades. So if you're on the ground, not bending your elbows to make the action happen. And in either case, keeping your spine nice, long, and neutral so that your shoulder blades are moving around your bodies. And this is a mind trick, so just do your best. See what feels comfortable and what doesn't. Laugh a little bit if it feels uncomfortable or weird. I'm going to change my angle just a little bit on this chair. We're going to push our arms away from us so our shoulder blades come apart. Then we're going to slide our shoulder blades toward our back pockets. Then we're going to pinch our shoulder blades behind our back and then send our shoulder blades up toward our ears and then push our arms away from us again, opening the space between your shoulder blades. And one more time down to your back pockets. Shoulder blades together. Shoulder blades up and then apart. Now we reverse direction. Shoulder blades are together and up by your ears. Shoulder blades to your back pockets. Punch your shoulder blades apart and then slide them up to your ears one more time. Back and together. down toward your hips, into your back pockets. Push them apart, up toward your ears. And let's just bring ourselves into an open shoulder position one more time, whatever that neutral posture feels like to you, to give yourself a break. For our next 3 exercises, you'll want your weights. Our first one is a hinge row. So we are leaning forward in our chair or going into a hinge. Wherever you go, make sure your back feels okay. Spine is nice, long, and neutral. And we're gonna send our arms long with those weights in them, and then we're driving both elbows up to the sky and then letting them go back down. We are going for about 30-45 seconds on this one. If you need to pause and reset, or just stop the exercise entirely because your form's getting a little bit weird or you're feeling uncomfortable somewhere, take care of you. Okay, let's get into our hinge and begin. And one more here. And then come back up from that hinge. Give yourself a little shake. Nicely done. Our next one is an overhead movement. Overhead movements can be very restricting for some folks. So just move through the range of motion that feels okay for you. You're still going to get great benefit no matter what. Definitely lighter weights are nice for this one. The movement we're doing is we're taking our weights and we are pressing them up overhead with our palms toward each other, then pivoting our hands to our palms to face forward, coming down to this like goalpost position, and then bringing our arms back together. Up overhead, pivot, down to the goalpost, back together. Now with that note about shoulder tension, you can make this part of it a little bit lower so that you have a break for your shoulders. So just adjust according to the weights you have and the intensity and range of motion that's right for your shoulders. As you're moving through this, also try to keep your ribs knitted down. It's nice, I would say, to actually choose the seated option because you can really notice if your hips are tipping forward or back to compensate and give you some overhead range of motion. We want this to be about our shoulders and shoulder blades, not our back creating that movement for us. We're going to go for about 30 seconds on this one. Again, feel free to pause and reset or completely stop early if that's what's right for your shoulders. Let's begin. Nice work. Finally, we are doing a shrug. For this one, we're putting our arms in a neutral posture, so making sure our shoulders aren't rounded forward. So nice, long, tall spine, shoulders in a neutral posture, weights held low. And we're bringing our shoulders up to our ears and holding for 2 or 3, and then lowering down. That hold lets you make the intensity appropriate for whatever weights you have. So the longer you hold, the harder it's going to be. So if you feel like your weights are a little too light for this, just hold for a little bit longer and then release. I wouldn't hold for the whole 30 seconds though, because we want that motion to happen. The other key on this one is to just move through your shoulder blades and through a range of motion that feels comfortable. When we get up to the top, it can be easy to round your shoulders forward or do something with your neck. We want to keep that spine nice and neutral throughout the whole thing and only raise our shoulders as far as feels okay through our neck. We are going to get going now, set up in that neutral shoulder posture, and let's begin. We're finishing up with our last couple of seconds here. Release, and we can set our weights aside. For our cool down today, you can do this in any position. I'm just going to show you the seated option. We are taking one hand and bringing our hand to the other side of our head and tilting our head down to the side, finding the right angle where it feels like a nice opening, but not too much of a stretch. So we're thinking like a 2 out of 10 level stretch here. And then we're looking up toward the side where that arm is reaching. We're going to hold here for about 20 seconds. And just breathe deep. And adjust how deep of a stretch you're getting to maintain that 2 out of a 10. Excellent. Slowly release. And then bring it over to the other side, tipping, 2 out of 10 stretch. Find the right angle for you, and then look up toward the direction of that arm that's reaching. And slowly release. Thank you so much for moving with me. If you want more joint aware workouts like this one, check out the rest of the channel, subscribe, and please let me know in the comments if you have other specific requests for different body parts. I would love to create a video that is catered to you. And remember, every option is valid, just like you.